Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing y'all all the books that I would like to read in May. That is my May TBR, which is my to be read list. I am focusing on contemporary or literary fiction, which in the last year has been my favorite genre I've had the most success with. Now there is going to be a little twist that I have been doing in 2025. These are the highest rated contemporary or literary fiction books on my TBR according to Goodreads. These are the best of the best that I own according to all of y'all who have rated and reviewed books on Goodreads. Let's get into it. The first book is the book that was picked for my book club to read this month. The Fable link is always down below in the description if you guys would like to join us for spoilery discussions and just reading a book, seeing my live reactions for that book. It is completely free for you to join, so I really recommend that you do that. It's just so fun to read books with others, and I always meet people who wish they were in a book club, so maybe I need to make like little business cards for my book club to be like, y'all should join, because again, I love talking about books with people. That's why I created this YouTube channel, because I didn't really have an outlet to discuss the books that I was reading with other people. Sure, there are some books. Not everybody in your life is going to have the same taste as you, and that's awesome. So some books I can talk about with certain people and so on, but on YouTube, I'm just like, there's 1,000 people on here, so all kinds of different tastes, and I get to talk about all these books with y'all. But the book that the book club voted on, yes, we vote on a book every month, is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Now this is a little bit of cheating because I have finished the book already. Can't help it, the first Monday in the month is 4 or 5 days, and yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo. But what is this book about? We have Tova, who is recently a widow, and her son is a missing person. He disappeared. So she is a bit lost in life. She is 70 years old, but doesn't know exactly where she fits in or anything. But one thing she is very passionate about is her work at the aquarium. She is the cleaning lady there, and she just has made friends with all the little animals in the aquarium, but especially Marcellus, who is a Grand Pacific octopus, and we do have him as a POV. We are introduced to those characters of this woman forming this bond with this octopus, and this book is really about finding yourself, and so many of us can definitely relate to this book, and this is the book that my book club is reading this month. The next highest rated contemporary book is one by a very popular author that I have not read from before, and this book is Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult, and I am going to be doing the audiobook because I did thrift this book. I see this book at the thrift store all the time, so if you're wanting a copy, definitely check there. But I got this really nice hardback, and it is actually already annotated with sticky notes, and then there are like some quotes highlighted, and typically that would kind of scare me, but this is done in such like a precise way. This person did a really good job, but she did recommend, saying, it says, I'm listening to it on audio, and oh my gosh, Audra McLeod is the narrator. It's perfect and so realistic. So that really made me be like, okay, maybe I should do the audiobook for this, since the person who owned this book originally did the audiobook and seemed to really enjoy it that way. Now I am going to need a little refresher on what this book is about. Ruth Jefferson is a labor and delivery nurse at a Connecticut hospital with more than 20 years experience. During her shift, Ruth begins a routine checkup on a newborn, only to be told a few minutes later that she's been reassigned to another patient. The parents, who are white supremacists and don't want Ruth, who is African American, to touch their child. The hospital complies with their request, but the next day the baby goes into cardiac distress while Ruth is alone in the nursery. Does she obey orders, or does she intervene? Oh my gosh, that is so scary to think about. With incredible empathy, intelligence, and candor, Jodi Picoult tackles race, privilege, prejudice, justice, and compassion, and doesn't offer easy answers. Small Great Things is a remarkable achievement from a writer at the top of her game. All those themes are so important, and especially with the world we live in, and I cannot imagine being the nurse in that situation. Oh my gosh, I'm sure this character work and again the themes are going to be fantastic to read about and very impactful. I like to add a graphic novel to my TBR every month, and this one is Displacement by Kiku Hughes. This is, I think, for a younger audience, so maybe if you have some teenagers in your family, you might want to gift this to them if it sounds interesting to you. Back during World War II, a lot of Asian people were put into internment camps in the western parts of the United States because they were, you know, I mean, there's no excuse for doing that, but it was because of, obviously, America was at war with Japan. They thought all Japanese people, all Asian people must be bad, when obviously that is not true at all. But this girl, her ancestors, like her grandparents, they were impacted by that, and I think she like travels back in time or something. So it says Kiku was on vacation in present-day San Francisco. Just moments before, Kiku now finds herself displaced to the 1940s Japanese-American internment camp where her late grandmother, Ernestina, was forcibly relocated during World War II. So, oh my gosh, again, I cannot imagine being in that situation. And back when I was in elementary school, I read one of those Dear America books about a girl who had been forced to one of those camps. And this might be a newer take on that, and in a graphic novel format, so something very different. And I do love the colors, the use of colors that is used on this cover. And it looks like this won an award for Young Adult Literature Award Honor, Asian Pacific American Librarians Association. And it is Asian Pacific Islander Awareness Month. I'm not sure what the last part is, but the month for them. So this is a good book to pick up. This one is extremely intimidating. I am terrified of this book, and it might be my next read. Y'all, I am so scared. I've had this book for so long. You know, I've been putting it off for so long, but it's finally going to be happening this week. So stay tuned for that vlog at the end of the week. That is A Little Life by Hanya Gahara. Guys, I'm scared. And this is also a National Book Award finalist. We have a lot of award-winning books this month, but it does make sense since they are, you know, the highest rated books. But look at this length. That is what scares me, and I know this book like destroys people, and that's what I look for with my reading. I want to be emotionally impacted. I want to feel. I want to read a dark, gritty, emotional story. And I mean, look at this cover. I think it's going to go there. Now, I know this is like following a group of friends, and is it during like the AIDS epidemic or something? We're gonna read the back here and see what it says. A Little Life follows 4 college classmates broke adrift and buoyed only by their friendship and ambition. As they move to New York in search of fame and fortune, oh my gosh, while their relationships, which are tinged by addiction, success, and pride, deepen over the decades, the men are held together by their devotion to the brilliant, enigmatic Jude, a man scarred by an unspeakable childhood trauma, a hymn to brotherly bonds, and a masterful depiction of love in the 21st century. Okay, it sounds more modern. Hanya Gahara's stunning novel is about the families we are born into and those we make for ourselves. I do love stories of friendship, and I haven't really read that many about male friendships, so that should be really interesting. I've heard just very dark things about this book, and the search of fame and fortune really intrigues me, and then add in the addiction and everything that can come with that. I have no idea where this book's gonna go, even though it is so popular. Next book is one that I know very little about and was shocked to see it on the list. Now, that does happen every month when we've been doing this challenge. There might be a lesser known book, but all the reviews for that book are good reviews. Now, that I think there's only, so you have to be a little scared about that. You have to be a little hesitant about that because, okay, let's say 100 people read this book and 50% of them gave it 4 stars. That's going to be high up on the rankings. When you have some of these other books that I've talked about where, you know, over 500,000 people have read them. So that's more of a variety of people that you're getting opinions from rather than 100 people. But the one I'm talking about is Earth by John Boyne, who I know his other book, The Heart's Invisible Furies, is extremely popular, and that's another one I'll get to someday. I don't own it. I don't think I own it. So that's definitely one that I do want to get to because that's the one I've heard so much about. But this one I haven't really heard anything about. And there also is another one called Water. So is it a series maybe? And they're all like elements. I think this has something to do with soccer and in Ireland. But we're going to find out together. Oh my gosh, I was not expecting these end pages. So that definitely looks like it could be a soccer pitch, right? I think it does. I played soccer, if you weren't aware. And does this have anything? No. So I don't remember even how I heard about this book. I think I saw it on some store. I saw it online, and then I did the Storygraph thing, and it was like, you'll like this book, and I think it was because of Beartown, but again, we're going to find out right here. It's a tabloid sensation of the year. Two well-known footballers standing in the dock, charged with sexual assault, a series of vile text messages pointing towards their guilt. Okay, yeah, I can definitely understand where the Beartown vibes come from. As the trial unfolds, Evan Keogh reflects on the events that have led him to this moment. Since leaving his island home, his life has been a lie on many levels. He's a talented footballer who wanted to be an artist, a gay man in a sport that rejects diversity, a defendant whose knowledge of what took place on that fateful night threatens more than just his freedom or career. Oh, I bet like the mob gets involved. I don't know though. The jury will deliver a verdict, but before they do, Evan must judge for himself whether the man he becomes is the man he wants to be. Once again, John Boyne shows himself to be a fearless explorer of the human heart, taking us into the cold, dark, and shocking places which might lurk within it. So yes, I can definitely see the Beartown comparisons, and then all that under stuff, you know, deeper layers to our character of Evan. It's going to be really intriguing to see where this goes, and I do love stories that just explore the internal mind of somebody, the internal parts of a person that make us. Lastly, again, I do like to add a nonfiction book to my TBR every month, and this one is about something that me and my family, we've been interested in for years, and that is The Survival of the Princess in the Tower, Murder, Mystery, and Myth by Matthew Lewis. So if you don't know, in the Wars of the Roses, Richard III of York, he took the throne. Now, his brother had been king before him, Edward IV. Edward had a bunch of children, but he did have 2 sons. Now, those sons would be a threat to Richard on the throne. He threw them in the tower. Those sons, they disappeared. Nobody knows. All these years later, hundreds of years later, nobody knows what happened to these boys. Some think they were murdered, some think they were let out, because there have been pretenders, were they really pretenders, who knows, that claimed to be the boys. There have been bones found over the years where people think those are the princes, but nobody knows what happened. So it's kind of like true crime, but from the, 1400s. We'll just have to find out. But those are all of the books that I would like to read in the month of May. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way through, leave a flower emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye! If you are familiar with my videos, you're used to seeing Sherman at the end of them. Sadly, Sherman has since passed away, but I would still like to encourage you guys to help your local shelters. Sherman was at the Darlington County Humane Society in rural South Carolina. I always have their link down below in the description if you guys would like to help them, but also help your local shelters as well. You can do that by donating, sharing posts like this one, volunteering, fostering, and adopting, which it's great to do all of those things. Great to help your community, great to help the animals in your community, and I cannot recommend it enough. All of my pets were rescues, they were strays or from animal shelters, and I love them so much, and I know how much love they can give, so knowing these pets at the shelter can equally give that much love, it's amazing. And y'all should totally take part and help out those local animal shelter pets, and please help them.